Hello, all. Welcome to yet another episode of Leaders' Voice, where we celebrate energy driven success leaders. So, this has been a dream for me to highlight the voices of leaders, of entrepreneurs, of corporate professionals who achieve success, who are very successful in their field, and yet do it the energy mastery way. So, what does this mean? It means that when you focus on the inner world of thoughts, of emotions, of slowing down of the body, listening to the body, the success that comes with it is far more sustained and long lived. And I am so lucky to meet professionals, entrepreneurs like these who believe in inner mastery for outer success. Hi, I am Deepa, a leadership coach and a facilitator, and I have been on this journey of inner mastery for outer success for over a decade now, and I have reaped success in a way that I can't measure or touch. It's far more than how I can quantify it. And today we have yet another guest with us, Meenu. Meenu, welcome to this show.
Thank you, Deepa, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So, little bit about Meenu. Meenu is an entrepreneur who co founded two companies, one into business transformation and consulting, and the second one into building employability within the student ecosystem. Wow. She was an HR professional earlier, having worked with organizations such as Godrej and the Piramal Group. She is a PCC coach who works with leaders to help them lead more consciously and with empathy. She believes that all the outer impact starts with deep inner awareness and and therefore has consciously made choices to enhance her own being and raise her energy. I love these words that help her work better with her clients, teams, in her personal relationships, and more. She mentors more than 100 students every year, and the core to her mentoring is helping them manage their energies, time, and inner self better. What more could I ask than this, Meenu? In her free time, Meenu loves to read, exercise, watch Bollywood movies, research on fitness and healthy lifestyles, and also meditate. I am really so happy to have you on this show because uh, this is exactly what we wanted to share. That energy mastery really precedes chasing success. Success is anyways there, but mastering your energy is a lifelong process, is a step by step process. And today we have you to share your recipe, your method to it. So, can you share when did this journey begin for you, inner mastery journey for success?
Sure. Thanks, Deepa. I think I understood energy since my childhood. I was an introverted kid who would prefer books over parties, like, even the family parties, or who would rather have few cousins around than meet a lot of people because somewhere I understood that that solitude gives you that strength and that energy. So it came to me as a child. The balance and calm, the importance of balance and calm, I understood in my first job, which was into consulting. And it was all about data, go get it and get things done and hustle and work with loads of Excel sheets. And that's when I realized that's not me. And that's when, my inner core actually kind of awakened. And that was the first time I realized, okay, then what is it for me? Like, where am I supposed to be? If this is not aligned. And that's when I understood the concept of energies because I was fortunate enough to work with somebody after that who was a firm believer in energies. He was my professor in college, and I became his research assistant. he introduced me to the concept of energies, and while not in so many words, but then I understood what it means to find purpose, find meaning, find joy in whatever I was doing, and therefore inculcate that joy. I remember one of the days when I was not liking what I was doing, and I actually told him I don't like this. He said, not everything will be aligned to what you like. Sometimes
Hmm.
you have to infuse that joy in whatever
Hmm.
you're
Hmm.
doing. So
Hmm. Hmm.
and that kind of shifted perspectives for me. So I think it's been a gradual journey, and it's I won't say it was that one moment which triggered it, but
Yeah.
I think over a period of time, I've understood balance, I've understood inner mastery, I've understood connecting with my own self, in stages, in different ways altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Like you said, that calm
Hmm.
and wanting calm is important.
Yeah.
I have experienced many professionals feel very joyous when there is chaos. They thrive. That's the phrase, I thrive in chaos. When things are not set, when it's all haphazard, when I have to run around a lot and there's a lot happening, I thrive there. And I often wonder, uh, is it really true or is it a myth or I've created a narrative around it that way? Your thoughts on it?
Interesting. So I think, every individual brings in a different perspective and energy to what they do. So yes, I do know a lot of people around me who find a lot of comfort in that hustle, a lot of comfort and energy. It gives them that
Yeah.
fuel
Hi.
high. It gives them that high to say that, okay, there's constantly
Yeah.
something or the other happening.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. What I feel is maybe we're just seeing that side of them. Maybe they have something else happening which we've not been able to see, which is kind of fueling all of that. Maybe they are still taking time to balance themselves, calm themselves down. Sometimes we don't see the whole person from the chair where we are on. So I think it's important to see the person holistically before being able to kind of understand their narrative as well. So I may come across very differently at home, but when I'm in office, I come across very
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my narrative in my head also changes because there's a role that I am playing.
Mm. Mm.
But the core doesn't change.
Mm.
Core still remains the same. And I think everybody's core is wired
Mm.
differently. Could be the life experiences, could be, the professional experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. And uh, increasingly, when I'm offering these leadership workshops, most of them, my workshops revolve around self mastery, looking at the core, etc. So when I do those workshops, especially when leaders are able to see their core purpose, it's so simple that they almost sit there on their chair and ask, why am I running if
Yeah.
this is what it is? And they ask me, is this my core? I said, you did it. I didn't do it for you. You just followed a process.
Yeah.
So I've seen in people's core, the core of life is really happiness. There is really much more and nothing more than that. And of course, in the way they articulate, it will be different for different people. But when you say what makes us important for you, they say it's the pursuit, it's my pursuit of happiness. This is how happiness looks to me.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes we end up building layers and
Yeah.
then we do not make a conscious effort to connect with that core.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Because the
Yeah.
layers are so thick that we start assuming that narrative is the real and the core then gets kind of submerged and hidden.
And sometimes those layers are also given to us.
Yeah, that
They're
also.
not the self-built.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're given. I think the trick is to kind of be able to say, okay, this is
Yeah.
given to me. Do I need it? No.
Yes.
Can I gently and lovingly discard it?
Yes.
Keep it
Yes.
aside.
Absolutely. So if I were to ask you, what is your purpose in life? Because you have done so much in the outer, I'm sure all of it is driven from a core purpose.
That's interesting because I have also reflected on this question quite a lot. And honestly, I feel that my purpose changes every year. So it's almost like work in progress.
Hmm.
Every year when I journal quite a lot, and every week I kind of go back to my journal and see whether I have become a little better, whether I have
Nice.
last week did I find joy in what I was doing, or uh, was I just thriving? Or no, was I just surviving? Right? So
Hmm.
I think, I just keep going back to my notes, to my own self, sit back, reflect. But do I have a purpose in life? I'm probably not sure. I think I seek a lot of meaning from the work which I do, because the work which we do impacts a lot of people positively. It kind of um, brightens, or it shapes up the lives of students who are getting into their lives, 20 somethings, they have this whole life ahead of them. I think that gives me a lot of meaning and joy when we work with organizations, when we see organizations evolving, maturing. I find a lot of meaning out there when we see those shifts happening. So I think it's something. I don't have that one line purpose
Yeah, yeah,
that I
yeah.
want to impact. It's more moving, and every day there is. I just try to go back and see, okay, is there an impact which we are doing? If not, then do we need to realign, rebalance, redo something which will bring that impact back into the work which we do?
Yeah, so maybe your purpose is to just create that impact in the ecosystem.
Possible.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like that to me. I mean, the kind of impact you create. I mean, look at when you work with college students, it's like shifting their life forever.
We Absolutely. And the kind of system we want to build. So while there are set definitions in the business, there is always a strategy, there is always like those plans, those
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
That we the masculine part of the business is something which we have to chase. What we consciously also do is also bring in that feminine side to it, which means, how do we bring in more empathy? How do we be that organization where students can come in and talk their hearts out,
Yeah.
rather than just kind of see us in a particular lens? And I think, since we spoke about energies, I think, that really the energy in the business, what is the business energy? That is quite sacred to me. A lot of conversations within the business today happen about, what energy are we putting out there? How do people perceive us? Do they see us as those typical business people wanting to make profits, or do they really see us somebody who's meaning to make a shift? And
Yes.
and that's and that cannot happen till the inner core is strong.
Yes. Yes.
That, yeah.
Yes, and not just yours. I mean, here it's about the entire your ecosystem's alignment, your business
Hmm.
partners and people, no employees alignment.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, yes. How do you bring that alignment within the organization, within your organization to create that impact outside?
I think the conversations matter a lot. A lot of, like, people jokingly call me Mother India in the office, and that's because they know they can come and talk to me and, cry out. Mother India, not from that perspective,
Okay.
but more like, they can come and talk to me and cry on my shoulder and talk. I think it's about also leading by example. I can't just go out and tell them that, okay, your energy needs to speak for you. They will possibly not understand because our team is also quite young,
Yeah.
out of college and 2, 3 years into their careers. They would not understand that. So I think I consciously try to be that for them, because I know they're observing me, they're learning from me every single moment. So how am I coming across to them? Do they see me as somebody who's living by those values? Or do they see me as somebody who's just preaching the values? And I think the same. we are three of us who are founders in the company. All three of us are conscious of the fact that the team is observing us all the time. So what energy are we giving out to
Getting
them?
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and therefore, a lot of times I just talk to them about fitness. Sometimes I just talk to them about good nutrition. So the vibe which we try to build in this organization is to say that, okay, are we becoming better in by being in this company? Are we becoming better individuals? Because again, they have a long life to live, and some of these habits they'll have to start building in right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how do you maintain your energy? What are the practices you engage in?
A lot of them, I think I've also learned this a hard way actually, because there was a time when the orientation was too external. I think what shifted in my life was when I was working in the US. So I was there for a couple of years, working on a very sensitive assignment, which very few people actually knew about, because there was a lot of integration which was happening, and we had to integrate some acquired companies at that point of time. So it was quite sensitive, and just by working with those people and being in that space, it gave me a lot of time to reflect. And that's when I realized that a lot of my time so far has been all about the world. What is this person thinking about me? How am I coming across? Am I speaking all the right set of things? I was missing on the authenticity, that ability to just express. When I double clicked on that, I realized that, to be able to express, I need to first express things authentically to my own self. I need to be authentic to my own self. And that's when I picked up journaling as a habit. And it gives me a lot of peace and, how do I put it? A lot of balance, because when everything is out on the paper, it just puts things in perspective. Think other than that, meditation helps a lot. This does 5-10 minutes in the morning. When I walk in the mornings, I just put some nice music on, which kind of sets the right tone. Sometimes it's affirmations. And that workplace, what I've started doing, this is something which I have learned recently. When there are multiple priorities, this balancing those energies of priorities, I've started time chunking. There are like those times in the day when I am not accessible to anybody. Uh, that's just my time. I come in early to office just so that I am able to harness that energy of the day and kind of put together things which are important for the day. So I think those little things I
Things.
feel
Yeah,
I've figured out they
yeah,
work for me.
yeah.
So I've started using them.
Yes. And you've been doing it consistently over a period of time, I think.
Absolutely. So I think that consistency, that word you used, it's so important.
Mm.
Like it's not about 1 day or 2 days. It's about doing it every single day. And that's how, you build that habit. And that's how you start seeing those shifts, those little shifts which you start. I mean, they may not be even visible to you immediately, but over a period of time, you start seeing those shifts happening.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, one of the things you said, there are times of the day when I'm not accessible to people. I find my time and I do things. How do you say no? Because this is so interesting. When you say no to somebody, you're saying yes to yourself. So, how do you practice it?
Okay, so long time ago, somebody introduced me to the concept of boundaries. Now, obviously, I didn't understand boundaries then because, I was a people pleaser. I wanted to keep everybody happy, but I think there was like one fine day when I realized that, okay, there exists this person who also needs to be happy. And that's when the idea kind of stuck me. That's when I understood boundaries, because I realized that I was not prioritizing myself. And so what I have, like, at least at workplace, and I'm like fortunate to have a team who also understands this. So at workplace, I have started basically telling people that while we are in an open space, we are in a co-working space, we are in an open space. I just tell them that, between this time to this time, I have something important to finish. I will come back to you after this. Right. So they know that, okay, while I'm not accessible, but at the same time, their agenda is on my list. So it will get done. Same goes with the clients also. I think with some of my clients, I did it, and one client actually came back and said, "This is something which I learned how to do it." So I would tell them that I know this is a priority, but allow me this much time. I'll come back to you. Right now, I'm in midst of something which also needs my attention. So I think just communicating sometimes helps, uh, and the way you're communicating
Yeah,
as
with empathy. But there's
with
so much understanding of their situation also in the way you communicate.
absolutely. And also, what I've realized is earlier I used to feel that I might offend somebody. Now, what I've realized is that it actually builds the relationship. Because, when this person came back and said, "This is something that I learned from you and I appreciate," honestly, I was scared to communicate this to this person before. When before I said that, but later on I realized that no, I had no reason to be scared because now our relationship has actually become stronger because of this boundary setting. So it's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Yes, and you have retained your energy and stopped that energy leak.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so needed, especially when you're running a business. It's so needed to conserve all the energies
Yeah,
uh, that you have. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. This awareness of what drains my energy, one can pay attention when one is in reflection. Like you said, you reflect every day. So, what are some of the methods that our viewers can use to be in reflection every single day?
So one very simple thing which I've done, I've actually set a timer on my alarm on my mobile phone. So it goes off at 9 in the morning. So I come in around 8:15. I'm in office. So at around 9, it goes on. Around 2, around lunchtime, and once at 6 o'clock. So three times in the day, the alarm goes off, which is like a quick 30 seconds check. So and I've put something fun there. Check with the most important person, which is me, right?
Nice.
So yeah, so I just check with myself that how am I feeling right now? And when I know that okay, I'm not feeling very good about what's happening, I just take a few deep breaths, center myself, calm myself down, and then I set an intention that, okay, next 2 hours, this is an important task to be done. What can I do? That whole segment intending comes into picture. That what can I do to make sure that at the end of these 2 hours, I don't feel this or I feel differently. I decide how I want to feel, and therefore, what do I need to do? So it kind of just sets the right tone and the mood for the next. Also, I was introduced to this thing called heart brain coherence technique by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Oh, it's beautiful. Like I have evolved my own HBC, and I do that. Just deep breaths and then just observing. I mean, it takes only 30 seconds or 45 seconds max, but then this is so powerful. And just checking with your own self, being aware that okay, how am I feeling, and do I need to change something? How do I want to feel?
Yeah.
Just being able to do that sets the tone. Yeah.
This is so awesome because the moment you're checking in with yourself every day, you're also actually avoiding illnesses to come in unwarranted. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much illness around, and there's so much struggle around. How do I manage this illness, and then going into different cure systems. But the question, I always wonder is how did this enter the body in the first place? And this question I ask myself also. Illnesses does not spare me also, even though I am an energy mastery practitioner. And I
Yeah,
keep questioning because it is a signal for something that has not been paid attention to.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
In
what's your thought?
Yeah, in fact, Deepa, I've worked with so many leaders, either as part of the coaching or consulting, even like, when we do like this
Yeah,
hard consulting work with the businesses, what I've realized is a lot of leaders, they're doing things that they're not passionate about.
yeah,
And
very,
that somewhere, brings in that thing within that,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there is, that the whole disease, like they say,
It shrinks the soul.
it shrinks.
Yeah,
It's not in that space of being at ease.
yeah,
It's ease, yeah. So not being in that
yeah,
space, and they operate out of that space.
correct.
Having said that, what I've also realized is that not all days are going to look alike. Sometimes you are doing things which has no meaning, no purpose, but it's needed to be done. But as being a CEO, you still need to kind of do some manual work and some like clerical
Yeah,
work.
invoices.
The invoices, yeah, you don't like it. There's no meaning. You just need to kind of just get a paperwork done. But how are you still infusing joy in that work?
Correct.
How are you still infusing,
Yes. Yeah.
uh, uh, that purposeful alignment in the work?
Yeah.
Or like, managing it well. Like a lot of times I tell people in my team that when you don't like something, chunk it. Do it at one go, finish it off. Do it first thing in the morning, finish it off so that it doesn't bother you.
Correct.
So I think a lot of discomfort, disease also comes from, and this is something which I have noticed when I work with people, that they're not passionate about doing things. The purposeful alignment is missing, or um, you know, they're not able to care for themselves on stressful days. And I feel when the days that are stressful, you need to care for yourself a little extra on that day, little extra, because maybe you've had lots to manage on that particular day. A lot of decisions have to be taken, unpleasant things happened on that particular day. Take care of yourself. And I think not being able to do that sometimes brings in that illness
Yes.
amongst people. Yeah.
Yeah. Not being able to take care of yourself. I mean, when I think of self-care, I think one is it is overused these days. But if I ignore that, the ability to or the attitude that I need to take care of myself isn't so prevalent because I think we've been told take care of others. So, be it the male or the female, I mean, woman or the man of the house,
Absolutely.
the man is serving the family, and the woman is serving everybody else with her kitchen, with her efforts in the kitchen. So, and especially what I've observed is when things don't go our way, how we speak to ourselves is an indicator.
Yeah.
Do we say, oh, I messed it up again, what a dumb fool I am? Or it's okay, it's just one time. What is that instant conversation or thought that comes really is the indicator. You know?
Absolutely. Just that small thing sometimes, I deserve this. I
Yeah,
deserve it. Yeah.
correct. And
Yeah,
it's
I deserve these 10 minutes to myself. Sometimes I keep saying this to myself that, okay, I deserve these 10 minutes to
yeah,
myself. I can just listen to music, I can just read a book, or I can choose not to do anything. Just lie around on the sofa, not do anything. But
correct.
these are my 10 minutes.
Correct. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm really enjoying this conversation and
Same here.
it just feels so soulful because I think we are speaking at that level where we understand, we believe, we are rooted in it,
Yeah.
and it's coming through us, and we're not creating, it. Yeah, and I think the world of energy is such that if we tap into it, it's available. It's inside, you know,
Absolutely. Just being aware of it.
just being aware.
it say no, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's there. It's
Yeah.
you just need to be aware that okay, there is
Yes.
what am I tapping into? Am I tapping into something which is not aligned, or am I tapping into something which fuels me up, which gives
Yes.
me
Yes.
that direction, purpose, joy, energy?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. No, and as energy focused leader that you are, and you're saying that you're helping create energy focused entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship ventures with your consulting work. It's such a beautiful process. You know, there's hope in humankind. That's what I would say. So, what is your, what's your closing advice or thought to all of us who are listening in and tuning into your words?
I think two things. And yeah, as I was reflecting on this, I actually uh, thought about what I mean, what did I want to learn? Like maybe 10
Nice,
years ago,
nice.
what is it that I wish I could have learned faster?
Yes.
Though I still feel it's a process and I learned things when I had to learn them. The timing was always right. But still, it's like, okay, 10 years ago. I think the first bit and both these things I think I mentioned before. One is connecting with yourself every single day. It could be either through journaling, it could be, just by um, just sitting back and just checking with yourself, scheduling, doing that one thing which gives you joy every single day. And I think that's the secret to mastering your own self because when you know this is something which gives me joy and I'm doing it, I'm investing in my own self, I'm honoring my own being, that opens up new ways and new perspectives with which you see the world around you. So I think that's really number one. And the second thing is, this is something which I learned from my coach. And this was so powerful. I learned it just last year, and I was like, why didn't I learn this before? We get involved in a lot of things on day-to-day basis, and then, we start kind of feeling bogged down. We start feeling depressed about, stressed out about things. I think the simple thing to also check is to see will this thing matter to me in my larger scheme of things 1 year from now, right? I might have a struggle with something. Will this matter in 1 year from now? If not, then I may want to quickly address it and get it out of my way.
Mm,
And then focus my energies on something which
mm,
give me more purpose, more meaning, more joy.
yeah.
So just checking back, will this matter 1 year from now? If not, can I gently move into a space which is more purposeful and meaningful for me? I think those two things,
Yeah. And in both the thoughts that you shared, it's about being conscious.
being conscious. Yes.
Yes.
And I think that without that, I think no shift will happen. Have to acknowledge
Yeah.
what's happening
Yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
then you can address it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Meenu, and wishing you all the very best in all your endeavors, all your ventures. May
Thank
many,
you
many
for
benefit.
nudging. Thank you so much for nudging these insights. It's so beautiful just to be talking about this. I can sense the shift in the energy in this room.
Yes,
Just by
yes,
talking to you about it.
yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for being you.
Thank you for being you and all the best.
Thank you.